Welcome back, everybody, to Core Quest, How to Play Core Quest, Video 3. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about the lovely Done button, how to skip, listen to, or close a particular information screen. We're going to talk about the sound effects you hear when you move around on the map. We're going to talk about the reward screens when you receive something that you find. We're going to cover all that. Let's get ready to rock. We've got Luther with us. Luther's going to be our little friend. Rune Duck's a little mad from the last video in video 3. As you know, last time we got through creating a brand new character. We're going to take Rune Duck into Core Quest. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about here is voiceover help. Let's go ahead and hear what the first thing you hear when you have voiceover activated. Here's what you're going to hear when you enter the game after creating a character, then going back to the character sheet, and then basically the character selection area, and then selecting that character. You're going to hear this screen.
Starting to play the game. When you begin the game, you are in the left center. Room 11. Getting started with voiceover.
Getting started with voiceover. You get a short tutorial here, which is super useful. Let's go ahead and turn our speaking rate down.
Vertical nav headings. Speech volume 95. Audio ducking. Speaking rate 65%. 55%.
All right.
Words. Verdict. Headings.
Let's go ahead and hear the whole message.
Starting to play the game. When you begin the game, you are in the left center. Room 11 of a 5x5 grid map. Starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next row begins at 5. Your character does not remain center focused on the world map. It will move around it similarly to how a chess piece moves around a chessboard. To move, you can click the map around you, but keep in mind you can only move one place at a time and only to squares directly beside you. You can also use the directional pad to make movements. To descend into the dungeon, go to the northeast corner, which is room 4. This will take you to the next floor down where you will begin your battles.
All right, so we're starting to get into the very important information about navigating the map. So first thing you need to know is you can move with your character from square to square with your finger by tapping on the square right next to your character at the top part of your phone. Remember, we're going to be holding our phone in profile mode, not landscape mode. But I prefer to use the D-pad. Now the D-pad is in the lower 50% of your phone. That is where I move. You can move north, west, east, or south. You can also search wherever you are standing by hitting the button right in the middle that says search. All right. It's always advised to search every place you are. Whatever is on the square you are on will be told to you by voiceover. All right. Now, how do you close this info box, this big box that's on the screen? Well, what you do is you swipe to your right.
Done button.
And you find the Done button. All right? So double tap that Done button.
Dialog view.
And now we're going to get the cutscene, which is the information you hear when you first enter the world of Core Quest. All right, let's find out what happens.
A grand stone castle.
All right, we get a wonderful cutscene intro with great description. Let's listen to it.
The once grand castle of Cardale stands in ruins before you. Only the main level floor and the dungeon below remain. As you pry open the battered entrance door, you feel an evil presence whip around you. Next button.
All right, we have a choice. We can listen to the next line of beautiful written prose, or we can swipe 2 times.
Skip button.
And, well, it's just 1 time, and we can skip all the prose, okay? So I'm going to save this for you to listen to, and we're going to double tap on skip.
Heading not found. Skip button. Skip. Refresh. Castle entrance. Heading.
All right.
This is your current floor.
We're on the current floor. There's going to be a lot of things happening at once. The only thing you really need to understand is that wherever you walk, VoiceOver will explain it to you because everything here is fully accessible. Now, there's going to be some sounds I'm going to stop and explain that happen to you. But first of all, we were told where we landed. But guess what? We can also find where we land by using our heading. So let's activate our heading on our rotor.
Speech volume, audio duck, speaking rate, words, character, vertical, headings.
If you don't have headings set up on your rotor, you can go to your settings and set it up that way. All right, let's find out where we are. There's a handy dandy tool.
Menu, button, heading not found, castle and healing here, character locate, stats, heading.
When you go to stats, headings, you can hear exactly what floor you're on and what room you're in. I'm going to swipe to your right.
Level 1, FL1, RM11, Gold 100, AC1, STR.
Now, did you hear that? FL stands for floor. RM is stands for room. That's going to tell you what floor you're on, which is floor 1, and what room you're in.
Stat, level 1, FL1, RM11, gold 100.
We're on room 11. Now, to give you an idea, room 11 is right in the middle of the map. Now, first thing we're going to do is interact with an NPC. Whenever you interact with a new NPC, you're going to hear a very cute, charming sound. Let's go ahead and interact with the NPC that is to my west. I'm going to use the directional pad and move to my west.
Movement, heading, action log, heading, movement, north, but west, button.
Notice how I'm
Castle
swiping
Prophet is to the west.
from
An object or
left
NPC is
to
here
right.
and is unexplored.
All right, you're hearing a lot of information. The Castle Prophet, that is what we call a non-playable character or NPC. It's going to tell me I've never spoken to him because it's going to say unexplored. That's really important to understand. If you want to find loot, right, Luther? Luther likes to find loot. So one of the things you have to do is look for unexplored areas. The key is to find everything. All right, we now know there's a prophet to our west. We're going to go ahead and move to our west.
North, but west, button.
Double tap the
Castle
west
Prophet is to the
button.
west. West. NPC/object on this square. Castle Prophet.
Okay.
Castle Prophet says, Thanatos dwells in the deepest depths of the dungeon. Beware his illusions and corruption or you will perish like the heroes before you.
All right, if you didn't want to hear that prose, you could two-finger touch the screen and VoiceOver would stop speaking immediately. But if you want to hear it again, swipe to your left
Castle Prophet.
and then swipe to your right again.
NPC/object on this square. Castle Prophet. Castle Prophet says, Thanatos dwells in the deepest depths of the dungeon. Beware his illusions and corruption or you will perish like the heroes before you.
All right, now, if we're done hearing the information from the Castle Prophet or the Castle Prophet had given us a reward or prize or something, we could immediately accept that item by saying accept the gift that they're offering. Many NPCs will give you gifts, so you're going to want to accept those. They're very useful. All right, now that we're done speaking to the Castle Prophet, let's go ahead and swipe and listen for that done button.
Done, button.
There it is. Let's go ahead and double tap that.
Action/search button, button.
Now, if you ever want
Current
to go
floor
back
1, room 11.
and hear that information again, you can go back to that same square, which is called room 12, because you started off in room 11, remember? Now you can go back to room 12, which is what we're on right now, and you can speak to the Castle Prophet again. NPCs usually stay where they are, so you can always go back and get vital information from them. All right, now let's move around a little bit inside of our base camp. I'll be covering the full base camp information in the next tutorial. Right now we're going to be basically dealing with the sound you hear when you're moving around on the map. All right, let's go ahead and move over to where there is the player account vault or the dimensional vault.
Action log. Heading not found. Movement. Stats. Movement. North. West. Button. Actions. East. Button. East. You moved east to hallway room 11. It was unexplored. East. You moved east to hallway room 12. It was unexplored. You stand amid the ruins of the once mighty Cardale Castle. Its glory now reduced to rubble and whispers of the past. You are on floor 1 in room 12.
Every time you stand still, the floor you're on and the room you're inside is read to you by VoiceOver. Let's go ahead and move south.
South. Button.
And double tap.
Hallway is to the south. You moved south to hallway room 17. It was unexplored. You stand.
Let's move south again. Uh-oh.
NPC/object on this square. Says, the waypoint portal allows you to teleport back to a saved location in the dungeon. To use the portal to return to your saved waypoint, tap this square once more.
I'll be covering what waypoints do in a future tutorial video. They're really simple, but they just allow you to teleport back and forth between the different base camps. So when you hear that blah, that tells you that you have encountered not necessarily a living and breathing NPC, but a point of interest. Points of interest are very common in RPGs and tell you that you need to understand what this area is. You might need this area, maybe not at this very moment, but you will need it in the future. Now we're going to go ahead and move to our east, which is our base camp's dimensional vault.
NPC/done button.
But what do we need to do?
Action/search button.
We need to hit that done button. All right, let's go ahead and move to the east.
West. Action/east button. East. You moved east. NPC/object on this square. Says, the account vault allows you to store and transfer items between all characters in your account. To use the account vault, tap this square once more.
All right, we're not going to get into the dimensional vault today in this particular tutorial episode, which is the tutorial number 3, but this is good to know that you can find your account vault right here. Your characters can trade items among each other to make each other stronger. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and talk about the done button. Whenever you're dealing with something on the screen and you need to clear it, you need to find the done button. The done button is very important. For that information in this video, I'm going to play for you a very important song that will help you remember how important the done button is. All right, Luther is going to accompany me. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, that done button's fabulous. The done button makes the information screens close. The done button is so important. I love the done button. Close that info screen, screen. Close that info screen, screen. All game long. Close that info screen with a done button. Da, da, da. Close the info screen with a dun dun dun. Close the info screen with a dun 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 dun. I love it when the done button closes. I love it when the done button closes. I love it when you use a done button to close an info screen. All right, so that should help you remember. You didn't know you were going to get a song in the dance. That should help you remember what the done button does. Big shout out to My Noise. Thank you for the beautiful sounds. Yeah, we got some beautiful sounds in the background from My Noise. But yes, that's how we use the done button. Let's go ahead and
Done button.
hit that done button.
Done.
And of course,
Action/search button. Button.
no offense to the
Current
artist,
floor
but I thought we
123.
had a little bit of fun today. Thank you, Luther. Luther says, I am nowhere close to Cisco. All right, so now that we know what the done button does and how important the done button is, we're going to be going into the next tutorial talking about the loot info screens and what they do and the different sounds related to the info screens. But thank you very much for coming to our third tutorial, how to skip, listen, use the done button, and how to move around and take information from the lovely sounds that are used to tell you where you are on the look down map. Thank you very much, everybody. I will hear you in the next tutorial. Keep playing Core Quests. Bye, Luther. Luther, say goodbye.